Hey, hope all is well with you guys. I am Journey. I'm so excited to be here. It's been a little while since I've been on live, but I am here. So I have a guest with me today. We're talking all about the healing power of your conversations in your sessions. So I'm just going to pop this link in here. I have Laura Weick with me today. I am going to invite her into this and just put into the chat like what you are looking most to take away from this live today as we talk about how to improve your conversations. Hi, Laura.
Hi, can you see me? Am I coming through? I might be frozen.
Yeah. It does look like it's frozen. Somebody said that
Okay.
they can't hear me.
I can
You
hear
can
you.
hear
Hold
me?
on, let me try.
Can you guys hear
Let's,
me?
let's try that. Let's try this. See if there we go. I can see
Awesome.
myself now.
Awesome.
Our technology is so great, right?
Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Let me go. If you all in the chat, if you can hear me, put a thumbs up. If you can hear Laura, put two thumbs up. Just let me know. Let me know. Awesome. Zoom got me. Perfect.
Hi,
Alrighty. So
Journey.
I am Journey Stokes. I am a business coach and content strategist for health and wellness practitioners. I've been doing this since late 2022. And here I have Laura, and I've learned so much from her program. And I want her to tell you guys all about the things that she does for practitioners as well.
Yeah, I love this. Like Journey, I also started off as a massage therapist, and I run a coach training and certification that helps holistic based professionals scale their services beyond the treatment table. And so I know that I just love this because you and I have we work with the same people and in different ways. So just how that complements each other is a lot of fun.
I know, I just love it so much. It was just like I didn't realize like how close knit like it was until like we started having conversations with each other, and I just started to work with some of the people in your community, and I just love that. I just love that.
Amazing.
So I want to get into the topic today. We're talking about the healing power of your conversations and what that looks like, because I know a lot of times when I am working with practitioners myself, that the biggest issue is how to communicate with your clients in a way that doesn't feel pushy, inauthentic, or even salesy when it comes down to like the marketing and sales aspect. And so we're going to go over like what that looks like and how it can be natural for you to be able to grow within your practice. So let me cover a couple of myths. First, I have my notes here for those who are wondering. I did put a thing in here to pin, but the first myth is that my work speaks for itself. A lot of times, like, it's just so easy to think that if I just do a good session, that all of these things will just start to align and the clients will come back on their own. But I just want to say that that is only part of the session, because that's more like the customer service, the experience side, and what they're somewhat paying for. But Laura, share your thoughts on like what does that entail?
I have so many thoughts on this. A lot of people that come to us, they're like, "Oh, I just built my massage practice word of mouth." Like we tend to work with people like the therapists who are book solid, they're exhausted, they're ready, they want to scale
Yeah.
beyond the table, and they're like, "Well, my business, my work speaks for itself, and that's how I built my business." And I sit here and I laugh because I'm like, well, you did talk to people.
Mhm.
You you were communicating throughout all of this. And I know the next two myths you're getting into are gonna go there, but what happens is um we just sit here and think oh, I'm good at my skill is good enough.
Right.
And as long as that my skills are good, people are going to know that I'm the therapist for them, and they're going to choose to rebook, or they're going to choose to tell all their friends about them. Or, when you're wanting to create an online course to supplement your business and supplement your income, or when you're thinking about ways to you know, scale and do different things, what happens is I see so many practitioners get stuck because they're like, oh, I just have to do the skill well and that's all I need.
Yeah, and it's kind of contradicting to the whole overall point or mission of the business. Like when you just get so hung up in thinking that their skills is just going to be everything, instead of learning how to refine those conversations with people to get them to be able to go deeper with their work, is more of like, how can I go deeper with my skill set, which is more of a distraction and a deterrence
Yes.
to able to build a genuine connection with people is what I often find. It's just like,
Yeah.
what's another modality that I can learn so that way I can give people more depth or be able to create this change, but they need to connect with something. I always say that people need to make a mental connection and like an embodiment connection in order for them to be able to say, aha, like I got it, you know, like where the mind flows, like we go. So
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah, they might feel amazing from that session, but if there was not a connection for them to be able to say that this is what I need or I need more of this, like it's only going to be like, oh, that was amazing. I'll come back whenever, you know, and
Ye-
yeah,
Oh gosh, so much I have to say to this is like number one, I think you kind of tapped on a thing here. Like you tapped on two things. Is number one, I see a lot of practitioners that are like either they're reaching burnout or they're like they're wanting to up level their business in some way.
yeah,
Right, and like that you know exactly what I'm talking about, but
sure.
the way that we've been taught to operate in this belief of like, oh, my skill set is just enough, then it's like, well, if I want to make more, I should go learn another modality, I should go get another training. And I see so many practitioners who are seeking the training that if they put that little thing, you know, I did craniosacral therapy, like all this stuff, if they put that one little thing on there, that like all of a sudden that modality is going to actually help them up level their business. And what they don't realize, and this is what you said here, you said something about uh like the mindset of
Yeah,
it, that I think like in terms of social media and content, they're like, oh well, like I'm I'm bragging about myself, or I have to like talk about myself, or
mm,
like that you know, for me to quote unquote promote my services, or a lot of what we do, you know, we help people transition from single sessions into like 1,500, 3,000. We just had a client sold a $5,000 coaching container. I know it's
amazing.
amazing, right? So like we help them sell beyond the treatment table and bring this in. And there's this funny little belief that's like, oh, my skills are going to speak for themselves because I'm scared to promote myself, because
Yeah,
promoting myself is, you know, selfish, bitchy, blah
yeah,
blah 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 blah.
yeah,
When really like I, I wish people understand, and you said this again, is like it's communication, it's relationship building,
yeah,
it's like everybody in this industry is here because you are compassionate and you care, and
absolutely.
like the conversation and the power of the conversation is really an expression of that genuine desire to care and help people.
Yeah, I'll say one more point to this before I move on to the next myth. It's just I remember going in circles for like a whole year. It's back like 2000, I think it was like 18, 19. All I did was just chase modalities. Like I probably spent about five, 10,000. I don't know. It seemed like that's very vast. It was a lot of money between traveling, all those things, just to be able to get the certifications because that's what I thought that I needed. But as soon as I really start to see like, oh, I need to be communicating this way. And I went more deeper into that when I first started working with you in 2021, that as soon as I started to talk to people and understand like where they was coming from and what they really truly wanted, I have to make sure that I say that what they wanted, everything changed for me. Everything changed for me. And it's been years since I took another modality
Love that.
because I
Yeah.
don't really need to. Like I do it for fun now because I'm tired of doing the same technique. I do it for fun now. I don't do it because I think it's going to be the thing that's going to make me more money. So yeah, for sure. Okay, so another myth is I'm really good at giving a intake flow and suggesting things after the session. So ergo that because I communicate well, of listening what their goals are and going in and providing the hands-on touch and then giving them the recommendations afterwards, like the stretches, the drink water, the et cetera, like that is more than enough from what I need to be able to grow my practice. What do you say about that?
So let's be honest, like, yes, you need to know how to do an intake, right? Like
Yeah.
it's part of that, right? Like I understand where that comes from. And there's a funny little thing that I see people do. I'm curious your thoughts on this, of like the intake professional.
Mm, My
right?
my intakes are so relaxed. Okay, I'm gonna let you continue though.
Yeah. So first of all, your intake has to be professional
Yeah.
and very clinical. Okay.
Mm,
And kind of tying in something that you said there before about like it's what the client wants to address. We think our skills are going to speak for ourselves. And if we have this intake conversation where we're saying, oh, we need to press on your trapezius and we need to stretch, your QL and we need to like blah, blah, blah. And and the session's going to speak for itself. And I also want to talk about a massive mistake that I see in intake conversations that
sure.
keeps people in pain and
Right.
actually keeps them stuck in a cycle that's not getting them anywhere. We think that, again, like if we sit here and do this professional intake and I think you've said this too, and then we put on our social media the muscles,
Mm-hmm.
like this is the muscle and here's the trigger point, that
Go
somehow that is going to be
over their
what
head.
makes the person want to work with you. It's not. The person, like, you guys, the how people feel, the way it is processed in the brain, there is no language associated with
Mm,
it. So even though you're providing this amazing session that is professional and that is addressing like the intake issues that are popping up for them, there's a gap. And there's a reason why they don't get how important regular massage or the self-care piece or learning how to listen to their body. Like I have talked to thousands of massage therapists in my career, and I hear so often they're like if I there's just something like just beyond my fingertips that if I could touch it, my clients would get better results, my business would change, right? And so we think that this effective communication is I do an intake, and then at the end, I tell them to do the stretches, I tell them to drink water. Fun fact, that actually takes you out of scope of practice.
yeah. No matter how much we try to suggest or recommend, like to even just play it safely, I find that as soon as we actually try to make those suggestions, it's almost like in their mind, we're telling them what to do. Like
Yes.
we're giving them work.
Yes.
Like, and it's just like, I understand that how it comes natural. I still make a mistake to this day. But for the most part, like I brace myself. I'll be like, okay, what did they tell me? Like, what is it that they really truly need? How can I make them feel empowered to take the action for themselves of what they need to be doing alongside with how we're going to be working together? Like,
Yeah.
there's a sense of unison in terms of us working together like a partnership, but it's like they must feel empowered to want to say that this is what they're going to be doing. And once we start to say, well, you need to drink water, you need to do this, you need to do that, it's just like, oh, more things to do. Make it stop.
Yeah. Yeah. And also
There to stop. It's still stuck.
a lot of those things are just band-aids, right? Like, and especially when the world is like, everybody is stressed out and overwhelmed right now
Yeah.
and exhausted. And like, they're coming to your treatment table, like that pause and that moment of connection and restoration is so big on so many levels. And we sit here and we're like professional and we tell them what to do, but it's the level
Yeah.
deeper
Yeah.
that turns somebody into a consistent client, a raving fan who's referring you to everybody, who's saying yes to all these different ways that you're starting to leverage your skills. And the mistake, I mentioned this before, so I just want to say it, is the mistake that I see a lot of people do is we're also, as practitioners, coming from a lens of wanting to, like, I know we tell our clients that we're not here to fix them,
Yeah.
but when somebody says, I've been having chronic headaches, I'm super stressed out, I'm exhausted, we kind of take on this little, and I love y'all, this is a very ego thing to do. I'm going to give you the treatment to fix it, right? So, okay, we're going to, work on your traps, and you go into their tissues with an intention to fix a problem. And then
Mm-hmm.
and I do want to just kind of put a plug here because I think one thing I want to share with your audience, so you got to stick around, right, is I think the question that I find will completely change your practice and what not to, or what you can say instead. But right now, what I see people do is like, what's bothering you? This is our intake.
Oh, I know where we're going with this.
We do, we do. And then we go in there, we try and like fix the problem, and then they get off the table and we say, how's your pain? How's your shoulder now? And even though, yes, they feel better, what we're actually subconsciously teaching them is how to rate and measure their pain
To continue to look for it.
over and over and over
Yeah.
again. And then we're like, oh, let me know when you want to read the book.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my God. Y'all know that
stop that.
that gets on my everlasting nerves. I have to just
I
say that
know.
because like it's just it's a disservice because they don't know. They don't know. Are they only gonna come back? Like if the question was asked, like on a scale of 1 to 10, like where's your pain in the beginning? If they said it was a 7, then you got them down to a 3, they're not gonna come back into this like a 7, 8,
Yeah.
9, 10, 12.
Yeah.
Because that's what they think is going to be the pivotal point for them to book an appointment.
Yeah.
So that's why I say that we can't just suggest that people come back when they think that they need the massage. We tell them,
Yes.
we guide them.
Yeah. We guide them. And, based on everything that, was present in your session today, my professional recommendation is that you're coming back in every 2 to 3 weeks. I have this date and time available, on February, whatever.
Pull
Let's go ahead and put you on the calendar, right? I didn't even say, do you want to come back? I like guided them. This is quick. I actually think rebooking starts at the beginning of
Yeah,
the
me too.
session.
I think it starts with the content, then it starts at the
No,
beginning of
look
the
at
session.
you. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like that. And then if I did have somebody who's like, oh, I'll let you know, you want to know this is like extra bonus questions. What I would say if somebody's like, oh, I'll let you know, I would say, well, tell me what the first sign is that your pain is coming back.
Hmm. I love that question too.
Right before it's a full blown headache. What's the very first sign that you notice that something's coming back? And then they would respond. I had a client once who's like, I feel a little twinge between my shoulder blades. Great. That twinge is your sign to get back on my calendar.
Within days, if
Yes.
possible.
Yes. Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Yes. So you need like, that is not me being selfish and like, I want you to rebook so I'm making a shit ton of
Yeah.
money. That is like, listen to your body.
And you're being honest. A person will respect when you're just simply being honest and
Yeah.
guiding them in that way. Because I often tell people that if you don't set the expectations of what they could possibly feel or need to know, then they will go out thinking that it does not work, that our services does not work. So if we didn't tell them like, hey, that's the best time to be able to come back because of XYZ, then it's just like they're they're just stuck in that pain cycle that we were just talking about earlier. So we say these
Yeah.
things so that way people can have clarity, full clarity. That's what they deserve when they come in and pay for that initial session.
And you're starting to get into like the coaching piece that I love to help people with is
Yeah.
because like helping I told this to a client the other day. I hear a lot of people who like they want to share or they gain all of these tools and all of
Yeah.
this like knowledge because they want to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
But how you share the knowledge and how you help somebody like integrate it for themselves, you can't tell.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
My mom told me my whole life, make your bed.
Yeah.
Right. Like, we resist what people tell us. But so
Right.
like, so actually helping people learn how to integrate it, there is a coaching skill set. So what you were saying right there of like, we want them to start to see the benefit. We want them to start to understand like the impact of our work. Like my brain is going into all the coaching questions of like, hey, now that and I haven't even gotten to my magic question. We'll share that here as well. But
So
like,
I'm getting ahead of myself because
I know
it's just so a part of me now that it's just
you do it so
that I forgot I
naturally.
do have to understand that like for everyone who's watching, like yeah, like incorporating coaching really truly is next level in your business. And so let's just take it there as you're going in with your magic question, which is the bomb, by the way. So the coaching conversation or the conversation in general, your conversations in general, is the heartbeat of your business. So as we go into more of what that looks like, do share like what your magic question is and how they can start to understand like how coaching or the conversation is just a part of everything in their
Yeah.
business.
And now I'll kind of loop in like that third myth with this as well. And before I
Okay.
get into it, I know Journey shared a link that I have a free guide if you want to get it. I talk more about all of this in there. And also if you are someone who's like, I've been thinking about coaching. I've talked to so many people lately who are like, I've been thinking about what I would do if I didn't do massage anymore. And I would love to be a coach. If any of that is present, or if you're just like this resonates and I don't know why, the link is there. And also, feel free to follow me. There's a link in my bio if you want to
Yes.
schedule a call, if you're curious about body mind and if it's a fit for you. And just please, please, please do me a favor. Let me know that Journey sent you, because I always want to celebrate that. But okay, so to your question, so my belief is that any service-based professional
Hmm.
who talks to clients, even if it's 5 minutes before and after a session, you
Right.
need to understand how to coach. That there is a skill set to effective and ethical communication, especially when you are operating from a scope of practice. Because the third myth that we were going to get into is, I'm nice. My clients just talk to me. Y'all, I have heard stories and I have been on the treatment table where therapists say the most crazy ass shit that is absolutely out of scope of
Hmm.
practice and absolutely like pinging on my trauma. And like, like I had somebody like no consent was like, well, tell me about your birth trauma. And I'm like, bitch, you don't have consent to go there.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
hands on my
Yeah.
like, like doing a pelvic bowl release, whatever. Tell me about your birth trauma. Fuck you. Right? Like, sorry. You
Oh,
know,
this is normal over here. For those who
okay,
did
good.
not know.
Here's the deal. I love this. Like, I am woo as fuck. I call myself a practical woo. Like, I love that stuff. But if you don't understand how to, like, you need consent to go there. You need, like,
Yeah.
there's, you need to build trust and safety with the client. You need to have agreements.
Yes.
You need to have the credentials and the certification and the training to do
Yeah.
that. And like, I get that, lately, coaching has exploded, and sometimes people hear the word coach and there's a cringe that comes with it.
Hmm.
And that's because, because this is a little bit of a fun little thing where we work under a licensure and
Yeah.
scope and all that stuff. And nowadays coaching, anybody can just call themselves a coach.
Yeah.
It integrating coaching into your business, and especially what we do is like we work with holistic practitioners because we understand your scope. We understand where the boundaries and the guidelines are. We know how to do this in a way that's effective and ethical. Fun fact, our coaching structure supports your existing massage services, but for those of you who want to scale beyond, in-person hands-on sessions, you can do it virtually.
Yeah.
Like it gives you a lot of freedom, but we understand the lens of how you have to operate, and we're very mindful to that. But I'm on my soapbox now. Where was I going with this? um
Um,
Rein me in.
we
Yeah.
was going to like how it's just important, and then how it's also the heartbeat, like how the conversation in general. So the coaching conversation or your conversations in general is the heartbeat.
Yes. Yeah, so it goes back to what I said before of like, if you're someone who like you feel something at the edge, like just beyond your fingertips. I felt this for years. Like my clients were the ones who told me everything. You're like, and I think, we're touching people naked. Okay.
Yeah.
For someone to let us in that capacity, like there's a level of trust. And when I'm preaching to the choir here, when how you feel is connected to how you think, which is connected to what's going on in your life. And fun story, holy fuck, there's a lot of stress happening in the world right now.
So
There's a
in January,
lot.
it's been a long year.
I know, it's insane,
Yeah.
right? And other news flash, if you have a client that says that they're overwhelmed or they're exhausted or they're feeling stuff from what's going on in the news, please do not say, oh, just tune it out. That's what I do. That is fucking privilege, and that is like stupid as shit. All right. So just like,
Like
yeah,
our
that's real,
feelings are
right?
valid based off what's
Your
going on.
feelings are
Yeah.
valid. And so how what you feel and what you think are processed, they're processed in different parts of the brain, and there's no language associated to how you feel. And so this gap that's happening that you're sensing is that, and why I hear every practitioner say, I just want my clients to like listen to their body. Like that is a skill that most people don't have.
Yeah.
And how we communicate with people, how we talk to them, it it is everything in your business. I love that you called it a heartbeat, because everything in your business,
Yeah.
everything is a conversation.
Yeah.
Your marketing and Journey, I think one thing that you do so fucking well, your marketing is a conversation. And if you guys, if you follow Journey, she demonstrates this every fucking day, and I love it.
On both of
Where
my pages, by the way.
yes, where you are, I feel you having a
Yeah.
conversation, right? It's a conversation. Obviously, like booking a client, your website's a conversation. When they come in, your intake is a conversation, right? How you help them take action and put that into play, that's a conversation. But even the session itself is a
Yeah.
conversation between your hands and their
Mhm.
tissues. And to kind of weave in that magic question, there was a point that like this completely changed how I practiced. Where I was a therapist, it's like, oh, your neck hurts. Okay, indications, contraindications, insertion origins, what's the treatment plan, right? Like, let me get in there and like fix the muscle, which is like, if anybody wants to go into energetics, there's like a lot of power over, like there, it's a really weird thing. When I started asking the magic question, how I changed and how I delivered my services completely, it just it was beautiful. And I'll share the magic question and we'll get into this. So the magic question, so client comes in, hey, how are you? All the things, what's going on? Your client is going to tell you what's their pain is. Like that's the world we live in. You listen, all this stuff. And then the question is, the magic question is, at the end of your session today, how do you want to feel? Okay, please ask this question even if you're like, I don't know. Like, I don't talk about feelings. How do you want to feel at the end of your session today? Okay. Some people will say not stressed. Okay, pick a word that they want. um, I once worked at a children's pain clinic at our children's hospital, and I would ask the kids this question, and they came up with the funnest words: fluffy, velvety, like a princess, like whatever. It was amazing. And then I started asking my adult clients this, and like they loved it,
Yeah.
right? They started to be like, Laura, I saw you on my calendar this week, and I started to get curious how I wanted to feel.
I get
You
that
know,
so much.
you do? Does that happen to
Yeah.
you?
They'd be in the car, they'd be sitting here thinking, doing a meal prep. It'd be so funny when they'd be telling me this. I was like, I want to feel connected. I've been thinking about that all day. I've been thinking about that on the
Yes,
drive here.
yes.
They'd be thinking about how to get creative with different words. I just love it so much.
I love this too. So how do you want to feel, right? And so then, I would go and like they would get on the table and I would like wash my hands and I'd be like, okay, what does it feel like for me to be peaceful, grounded, connected, fluffy? Like I would bring that energy in for myself.
Yeah.
And then during the session, what would happen is instead of me going in there and like trying to fix and get the knot out, I would go in there with my hands and be like, okay, right? Like, I generally started people face down and like hands on the shoulders. And I would just in the energy say, okay, body, amazing client, show me what it looks like to feel more peaceful. Where do you
Yeah.
need to go? What do you want? And like my sessions changed where the full intention was to bring more of what they wanted into their body. And then, so here's the second part of this. So, how do you want to feel at the end of our session today? You deliver your amazing session. They get off the table. Do you feel more blank? Do
Mm-hmm.
you feel more peaceful? This activates, the law of reciprocity. You gave them what they asked
Yep.
for, which builds their trust in you.
Mm-hmm.
And and also you've also given a word to connect to the energy that they're feeling.
Yeah.
And for me, what I did, just to move it into the rebooking, since we've said this, I would always ask, what, or to your point of like helping them see the value of your work beyond the table, like how is feeling more peaceful gonna help you throughout the rest of your day or week? I just help them see the value in my work
Mm-hmm.
beyond it feels good for 60 minutes.
And it
To be like, oh
can make a
my
decision
God, I'm
for
gonna be a better
themselves.
parent. Yeah. Yeah. So they're starting to make this connection and then simply like, okay, well, just knowing the importance of this, seeing what's present. My recommendation is we come in every 2 to 3 weeks because this work is going to help you feel more grounded in your job, feel more present with your kids, right? Like they're
Yeah.
going to tell you the thing. And that,
Tell people all the time. Clients tell you what it is that they really truly want by way of saying it like that. Like they
yes,
want to feel more relaxed. They're bouncing off the walls at their house, so they don't want that. They want to feel more grounded. They want to feel more present. They
yes. And
sometimes without telling us.
and here's the thing is like, instead of me being like, well, you need to stretch and do the thing,
Yeah.
what just happened is they're actually learning to see the importance of this feeling in their life. And even if they're
Mm,
like, oh, well, how might this help you? Blah, blah, blah. Like, what might be one thing you could do to just really foster this energy of peacefulness that you're feeling right now between now and the next time I see you?
yeah. I like
Oh,
those.
I could meditate it. Like, right? Like they are going to come up with this. I mean, so
And what
this right here,
I find is
yeah,
just stop you right there. What I
I
find,
get fired up.
they're
I'm
usually going to
like,
say one or two things,
yeah,
because if there are people who get massages on a consistent basis and I ask that question, like what is something that you can do, they're probably going to say something like, well, you're probably going to tell me that I need to drink water, I need to stretch, I need to do this, because that's what they are so used to from manual therapists, right? Or they will think, well, I need to do yoga. I need to get back into that. I fell off of that. Or, I just need to go for a run in the morning or just slow down in the morning. They don't say anything about stretching or drinking water or any of the things that we suggest, right? Because that is not what's going to help them to really truly feel that feeling that they stated and that they feel right now after this session.
yeah. And I think 9 times out of 10, our clients, 9.999 times out of 10, most people know what they need to do.
Yeah, they just don't do
They
it.
just don't do it. And
Yeah.
if you tell them you need to do this, their head is, this is what I call the advice trap. Your ego feels good because you're like, look, I'm a good therapist. I gave you a treatment plan. Their head is like, oh, I have the plan. That's great.
Um,
But then they don't do it. And so now that kind of puts somebody into a loop of like shame
yeah.
and guilt. And like, I know the thing I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm not doing it. Because
Yeah.
when we tell, they're not actually taking ownership. I mean, this
Mm-hmm.
is like what I just shared with you is like a mini coaching structure. I
Yeah.
used to do this when I worked at a spa and I had 15 minutes between clients. I would
Yeah,
always
and
ask
that's
those
why.
questions.
When
Yeah.
I first started working with you, I was actually at a franchise. I just moved from my hometown. I said, forget it, I'm starting over again. So I still had clients in my business that I was working with, but I was also at a franchise. And so I was getting into the meat and potatoes of doing the work. And I was in a franchise, y'all, like in between, said 15 minutes in between. And I'm just like, I'm just cranking this out. Like, I'll be trying to tell people, like, it's just really about your conversation. You don't have to do all of these
No.
things. Just talk to people. Just talk to people, and so much will change. Like,
Yes. Yes, and I mean, like and I would do the thing like, okay, I think 2 to 3 weeks, and I would go to the front desk and be like, hey, they're gonna rebook in 2 to 3 weeks,
mm-hmm,
so that way, because if you work for somebody, like that front desk staff is not loyal to you.
mm-hmm.
And just want to
No,
say that.
no,
No,
they will
no,
just
like
try to fill a gap, fill a hole. Like
yes.
put them on my schedule at this time.
Yes, yes, yes. Hey, this person, we're looking at 3 weeks on this same date and time. Can you make sure to get them set up on my calendar? Like I would walk them out there, right? But and I use this as like this is a mini example of how one really simple conversation can help your client actually like come up with their own plan. It's
Yeah.
going to help you in your business because I think like we often think that like how we help our clients and how we treat them is separate from how we run our business.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're the same thing.
Yeah.
And, again, like what we do in Body Mind is like we take this coaching structure, and of course, we're also ICF accredited, so you get all of that stuff with it. But we're really helping you deepen into the conversation because if you want to scale off the treatment table, if you want to create programs and courses and stuff like that, it's the coaching piece that's going to help you do that,
Yeah.
you know? And that combined with all the magic that you do here, Journey, it's like really you become unstoppable on so many levels because now you have the tools that no matter how you grow and evolve in your business, these things are going to grow with you.
Yeah, for certain. kind of like how I was saying, like I don't have to take another course. I don't even really start recently thinking about taking another hands-on course. I don't need to do all those type of things because I just kind of vibe
Yeah,
out with my
yeah,
clients the way that I've been working now. It just works for me, and it has, in my opinion, it seems like it has more longevity um, to everything. I have so much time freedom. Some weeks goes by when my partner be like, "Are you working?" You know, but like, yeah, it's just I get to live the life of not working on a lot of clients just to meet my financial means,
yeah.
and that's really been the biggest shift for me because like I kept telling myself I cannot work on past 12 people. 12 is probably even too much, and I didn't want to feel like that was like a limiting belief for me. But I'm listening to my body. I've experienced a level of burnout that I don't want to live again. And if it can be prevented, then I will slow down and I'll
Mhm.
continue to refine this and refine this and refine this and ultimately make more money to the point where I can be present home and I can be present with my clients because I ultimately have this balance in my life. So that's what this
Yeah.
whole um, process has really truly helped me with over the years.
I
So
love that.
great.
You make me cry. Yeah, again, I'm preaching to the choir, but like, I genuinely believe that if you are in business to help others, your business has to be designed to put you
Yeah.
first. And and I think that's the hard part for people who genuinely care for others because this is a physical job. And I was talking to she was actually a she owns a nail salon,
Nice.
lovely woman, and she's like 10 years ago I loved everything nails. I wanted to learn everything nails, right? And I was like, I remember being a fresh massage therapist. And I'm like, I wanted to learn everything manual therapy, like give me the modalities, give me the treatments, show me how
Yeah.
to stretch a thing and all the body mechanics and stuff like that. And I think we have to be honest that there's a point, especially for those of you who are really good at this, there's going to come a point where it's like, you love your clients, you love your business, you love your work, but you hate it at the same time. Where it's like this is, we could start a whole new live on time for money where the business you love somewhere along the lines makes you feel trapped.
Yeah.
And I wrote something the other day about when your healing hands become your golden handcuffs, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You always
right? And
stuff.
right. So it's like, so this idea of like the healing power of the conversation, if you're somebody who's building your business and looking for consistency in your schedule and your massage schedule, and that's where you are, this little conversation I shared today is going to be a game changer for you.
Absolutely.
Right. And then
Like,
you're
yeah,
going to
save this
bring
life,
in,
do it. Because it's still
yeah,
gold in this life, just period.
yes. And also, you're going to hear so much that when you're working with Journey and she's helping you with your content, instead of you sitting here feeling like, oh my God, what am I going to say?
Yeah.
You just take what your clients tell you and you turn
Put it
it into
right
your social media.
there.
Right. Right. And then for those of you who are like, oh my God, I'm getting to that point where it's like, I need to start making shifts. I want to start really working in a way that honors my time, where I have the time freedom and the location freedom, where just what you were saying of like, I can do massage because I want to.
Yeah.
I can, I held on to a handful of massage clients, even though I was well beyond, like I had grown and kind of scaled beyond that. I held on to a handful of massage clients for years because I just loved seeing them.
Yeah.
And that was,
I like the space.
that was such a different way to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm so grateful for you because I feel like there's so much synergy and like same passion for the people who are here listening to this, either live or the recording, but like,
I
man,
I was aware of you back in like 2014, like a year out of massage school. Then
that
you
was like when I first started.
really
Been around a
you
hot
like
second.
fell off the
Yeah.
planet, fell off the face of the earth. So like, where's that lady? I even forgot your name for a little bit. I was like, where's that lady? And then as soon as I like wrote down on the walls, like, I want to be a coach. I want to do this. I want to do that. You came back up and we started working together in 2021. I was like, I'm working with her. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. And I'm just so glad. Like, yeah, I've been knowing about you since 2014. So it's just, that's really the synergy. That as soon as I thought about it and said that this is what I want to do, you pop back up in my world again. So
I have a
7 years
fun
later.
way of stalking people. Yeah, I'm just kidding. I love that. And I have to ask, did you wear pink just for me today?
I yes.
Was that true? Are you just saying
No,
that?
no,
Like,
no,
you know,
no.
I always wear pink.
I have been feeling this lately. Like my brand colors was supposed to be this, but lately I just been like, man, this looks good on me. So
It
I
does. It
wanted to
does. It
show
does.
up,
I'm
show up today.
laughing because so like you know like my husband laughs. He's like, "You have a pink shirt on today. Are you doing something?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So, and I was fully expecting you to be in your like because you have like the mustardy
Mm-hmm.
yellow and right.
That's
I
my
was
vibe.
kind of expecting that, so I was like, "Oh, but anyway, just I
Yeah.
like the yellow and pink." I'm sorry. This is
There,
Journey and I's report.
there's like there's a question in the
Oh yeah.
chat. It says indications, contraindications, insertions. What was the last one? Can you remember what you said? I
Oh
think you were just going
man.
through the. I
Yeah.
think that minute time the person just entered in and you was talking about not needing to explain all of these things when it comes down to
Yeah.
education when
Yeah.
communicating with your client.
Yeah.
So then the
Yeah. I
next
think that
point,
was that. And actually, can I respond to the second one? The I want to feel like I can be released from the grip of systematic trauma and not be defeated by it.
yeah,
Um, I do have a thought on this, and I also think it's important, just like honoring my identity and how I show up in the world, and that like um, my experience in that is different from everybody else that is here. What I do want to say in that sense, and this is, I just really appreciate this question because when I really think about the work that we offer as holistic practitioners, it is
mm,
revolutionary. Like we are giving space for people to come back home into their bodies.
yeah. Oh, I like
And
yeah.
in the world, like, am I allowed? I don't want to talk politics, but like
Mm.
the what is it called? The chaos that's kind of being thrown at us right now. The intention is to get you disembodied.
Yeah, and reactive.
Yes,
No
and
matter the side that you're on, it's a reactive sense which like throws us off. Is just raises our cortisol levels and just has us all over the place. And that's
yeah,
just
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So even in that magic question that I gave you, like I talk a little bit more about this like on my Substack and everything like that. Um, is and I even shared a video. You can go watch it. It's 5 questions to ask yourself to stay in your body because staying embodied it is an act of resistance, I think, and it's also where you find your power. So this magic question that we're just asking around a massage, which is nice and fluffy and it's fun. You want to know what it's doing? It's helping people remember that they have a choice in how they want to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all,
Yeah. That's why
that
a lot of times
is,
people are like, that's a good question. I never thought about that.
I know,
You know, you never
like,
thought that you have a choice, that you get to choose,
yes.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah, and if I'm if so, can I just make one more plug? I
Sure.
Here's the thing.
By
It's
all
on
means.
Amazon. Don't judge me. I have what I call the Body Mind Living Journal, and it's just 5 daily questions to stay grounded in your body.
Yeah.
Um, I have been doing this. I mean, this is my fucking shit that I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle to follow my own thing. I have been doing this every day in January, especially the past like 10 days, um, and it. I'm, I'm glad you're laughing at me. Um, it's just really understanding like, okay, the questions are what do you notice in your body? Is this energy mine or someone else's? The energy that's not yours. Again, the energy of what is happening right now is a way to get us disembodied because when we are disembodied, people can be manipulated. I mean, like that's really the thing. Um, so we give back what's not ours. And that question in itself has just been like, oh, when I connect to this energy and say, hey, is this mine or someone else's? Um, and I realize that it's somebody else's energy, I just give that shit back and I'm like, you can process that, right? And then from there, yeah, what's here? Like, what does this energy want to say? And how do I want to feel?
Yeah.
Like, how do I want to feel and show up in this? And thank you. I know I'm going totally off script and if you want me to shut up, Journey, you have
Well,
permission
I'll
to
just
say
say,
that.
before we end with how it's best to work with one another, there was one last question
Hmm.
into the chat that we can address,
Oh, thanks.
and then we can make
I
sure
know, sorry.
that
I
yeah. So it
appreciate,
says,
yeah, the urgency
yeah,
culture. Yeah, like the work you are doing to help somebody come back to themselves is life changing. Please stop looking at your massage sessions as like, oh, I just gave a massage and whatever. You are doing something profound in those sessions. Like, I don't know about you, Journey. There was a moment I could always feel when my clients went back into their body.
Yeah.
And like,
Oh, let go.
that is
Yeah.
healing. That is healing. And then using the conversation to help them give language and words and connection to this, recognizing that they have a choice, that they can take actions from their embodiment. And I didn't even get into the physiology that when somebody feels like, how you feel impacts how you think.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can actually shift somebody's emotional feeling state, we change how they think and then how they take action.
Yeah.
So this conversation is actually supporting them and like building that for themselves when urgency culture, when media, social media is designed to keep us from that. Like that's why I truly believe that the holistic healing community, we are here to be leaders through our embodiment. Um, so I know like I teach a coach training and this, I'm sure you can talk about this in marketing.
Yeah.
Like for me, this is why I do this work. And I do this because I want my son and the world that he lives in to love and support him and all of that. So
When it comes down to
sorry,
the
TMI.
side, when it comes down to the embodiment side of putting out content, I like to tell people it's your identity first. And I'm about to actually go over this on a coaching call next week with everyone. But everything
Make
starts with like,
sure you're in Journey's program and group because she's amazing. I just want to say that. Just sign, just do it. Just do it.
yeah, because like when we're trying to create content, right? Is we're creating your content based off of like how you feel and the perception of people and what you look at things to be. So if the identity of what you have is I'm not an expert, I'm not there yet, people are not going to want to work with me. Why me? Then we have to get out of that phase so you can even feel comfortable enough to put out content. Because most of the things that I teach you to put out, it's just so simple. It doesn't have to be that you're taking people, as we said earlier, through this whole educational phase or anything like that. We're just speaking to the things that they're speaking back to us in our sessions. So more on how to go deeper when it comes down to that, but everything starts with your identity and how you feel. Because if you have a disconnect to what the world is going to think and feel about your business, then that will ultimately always slow you down. There's just be gaps in between you posting, if at all. So,
Yeah.
or you're playing it safe in your content, and we don't do that.
I
Yeah,
mean, I like true story. I still struggle with that mindset. I just want to say that. Like it's real. I get that,
yeah,
but can I even offer a thought here in that?
sure.
Because I think this is such a practical example. Like I have a part of me that says that exact same story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I also, with that idea of like I have a choice of how I want to feel. Okay, when it comes to your content, when it comes to how you promote your business, when how you share, you know, with other people, how do you want to feel?
Mm-hmm.
So if, you know, even as I say that, I feel my body changing because it wants to like I I get fired up if you guys can't tell. So like we call it like compassionate anger.
Yeah, I was like,
It's
I
a
don't think
really powerful force for me. And that might not be for you, but like you want to be like I want to be passionate.
yeah,
I want to like it is so important for me to be mission driven. And like that feeling of that is like there's like this fire that comes out when I'm like, how do I want to feel in this? When I ask that question to myself, I gain choice in myself, right? Most coaches, and this is a little bit of body mind, most coaching programs are like, let's overcome those negative beliefs
mm-hmm.
and change the mindset. I sit here and say, let's change how you feel. Because even 30 seconds to 3 minutes of me like getting back into that fire,
Yeah,
I got a shit ton of things that I want to say. Like the
yeah,
content and all of that is like, oh, it gets fired up. I also think that like instead of getting caught up on like, oh my, like the mindset thing, come back to your values.
yeah.
I have a value of connection, and even if I just go have like this conversation, I'm honoring that value of connection. I'm going to go write a ton of marketing material
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm in connection.
I've been sitting here thinking, I was like, that's a nice clip right there. Right there. I can clip that up.
See, look at that, right? Like, there,
Yeah.
I hope you have enough clips. Like, yeah, like, that's what, like,
Mm-hmm.
the feeling piece, when you can come back and shift the feeling piece, like your brain is going to get on board with that and it's going to help you take easier steps.
Mm-hmm.
And fun story, as you follow the part of you that is ready, you're going to know and you're going to have the mindset shifts of why you got stuck there in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be so apparent.
You are uh what is that? Aishik, did I say that correctly? In motion? I wish I had the answer to how to heal all of this, but I think and healthy attachment, I think this work starts with you, of just starting to, like, how do I want to feel?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Start to ask your clients, how do they want to feel? I think that attachment piece is really interesting in terms of coaching, because this is why I get fired up, where people who just call themselves a coach don't realize that they're actually perpetuating a lot of toxic attachment things. And so having the skill set to coach is really important in that. And I wish I had the answers in like 2 seconds here, but I don't.
Yeah.
It's a process. I will say that it's a learning process that I have committed to for myself. So keep showing
Yeah.
up to it.
Yeah.
Turning, this has been
Yeah.
so fun.
Has been. Thank you so much for
Thank you for letting me get a little fired up there too. I do
Or
appreciate that.
look, we said we're gonna be casual. We just gonna keep it real. Just gonna be ourselves. You just do.
No, I really want to just acknowledge that the work that you are doing in helping all these amazing healers and holistic practitioners and massage therapists, like, it's so much more than social media, y'all. It's so much more than content. It's you are helping people, like, really make a difference in the world. And Journey, I see you show up and I just appreciate how you are in the world, and you, I watch your stories and I'm like, damn, I gotta embody my inner Journey and put some shit out there today. But like, I just really appreciate you inspire me. I just appreciate you, and I just want to say, everybody watching this, like, if you follow me, please go follow Journey. She has so many great resources on the marketing front. And for those of you who follow Journey or me who are like, I've been thinking about coaching, I just want to invite you to connect, grab that free guide, schedule a call. The link's in my bio. I think you and I are here because I think we genuinely want to see, like, I think I think we have a love and passion for the people in our industry. And also, like, I think I'm not wrong in saying this, that you and I both want to, like, give everybody a kick in the ass and
Yeah.
stop getting in your own way, because the world needs you,
Yeah.
genuinely right now need you.
That's really my biggest thing. Like I've had some tough times. I'll be like, do I want to continue? I'll be like, no. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yay, internet.
their business out there in front of their right people, because there's so much going on that they only really is going to receive it from you. So like, I just want to make sure that I'm touching. If I only reach one person on this live today, I done my job. That's what the preachers used to say. And that's what I'm feeling right now. So like, that's just really how I am. I come and I show up and I'm just like, I just needed to land with at least one person today,
Yes.
one person, you know, and that's just really the whole thing when it comes down to it, and what keeps me going. So yeah.
I'm with you on that. And also, just everybody listening, like, the person who's on your table today, like, you are providing so much more than like a hands-on
Yeah.
treatment. And it's just so important.
And they're on the table because you showed up.
Yeah.
Because you said yes,
Amen.
you felt bad.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
so everybody check out Laura, give her a follow, go through all of the resources that she has, and take her up on that call. Like, she's definitely gonna, like, open up your mind, no matter how soon you choose to work with her. So yes, if you're someone who wants to go beyond the table, or just like cut the time in half between providing so much hands-on work, definitely check out Laura. if you're interested in knowing how to improve your social media brand and get in front of your ideal client and just take the overwhelm out of social media, because it doesn't have to be. Social media can be fun, it can be a resourceful tool. Feel free to follow me or to click the link as well, so that way we can have a conversation. But
Yeah.
do you want to leave with any
Um,
remarks?
I also want to say for our body mind coaches watching this, Journey's coming into our group to do some content stuff as well. So like you guys get some journey energy as well.
Yeah,
I just want to say how grateful I am for you and just how this little pocket of the internet that we get to be a part of and it's just such a beautiful group of people and um, I genuinely believe that we're being called to step up
absolutely.
and that's what I think you and I are here for. And I just really appreciate that shared mission in our own unique voices and our unique strengths and talents. Like that, I think is just really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm
Thank
glad that you found me again. Where is that lady? I'm glad I popped back up
Yes,
because
like,
it's
yeah,
just been.
she just popped up out of nowhere 7 years later. I was like, that's her. That's her. I know your voice anyway. Ooh, that lady made me shed a tear. There she go.
You
Oh my
crack me up. Okay, I hope y'all like. I would love to know what y'all hear from this, and I feel like Journey, you and I might need to do this again
yeah,
because it's a lot of fun.
yeah.
Um, yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Journey. I just
Thank you.
appreciate you today. This
All
has
right,
been great.
all right, everybody. Bye.
Bye. See you later.